Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. In this episode, we'll be previewing the test series between New Zealand and England. The English summer has started, and before the World Test Championship, New Zealand will be taking on the host England. England missing a few players in this series. The likes of Ben Stokes, Bairstow, Butler are resting. Jofra Archer is still recovering from injury, so he's not going to play. And Ben Foakes as well. That's the latest injury update. He tripped over a sock in the changing room, I think, and he pulled his hamstring actually. And yeah, it sounds funny, but it's really sad for him. This was the perfect opportunity. He's done well whenever he's got the opportunity, and he would have really liked to play in this series. So in his place, James Bracey is coming in for England. Sam Billings is called up as well. So these two, they have the chance now. They haven't kept wickets for England, so in the test format, so it'll be a big challenge for them in Lords. But I think. It'll be interesting to see how they go about it. New Zealand, on the other hand, for them it's kind of like a dress rehearsal. Of course, they will be competitive. They'll want to win this series, but all eyes will be on that World Test Championship against India, and it's really good for them that they're playing a series now. They get to acclimatize to the conditions, get to understand the pitches. Of course, it's going to be a different ground, but English conditions are similar throughout, and I think this will really help them. They'll also know what combinations that they want to play. Should they play the likes of Santner, or should they stick to all four fast bowling lineup? They have plenty of firepower in that bowling lineup, and then it also allows their batsmen. Yes, we talk about New Zealand also difficult conditions to bat on, but we've seen in New Zealand the first couple of days are difficult, but then day 3, 4, 5 it gets a bit easier to bat on. Here in England, things can change with the forecast, with the weather. Suddenly it becomes overcast and the ball nips around, and then suddenly it starts this bright sun and the wicket becomes flat again. So it's going to be a bit different, and this is the perfect time for them to play before this Test Championship. I think again, the key for them will be Kane Williamson. The way he bats, he's a class batsman. I feel he's the best batsman in the world right now currently, and to maintain that spot, these 3-4 games, including the Test Championship, will be very important for him. The batting will revolve around him. Ross Taylor, will he play the first game against England? I'm not sure. But if he's also key. He's going to be key in this series. He's going to be key in the match against India. These two are the experienced ones, and then the likes of Nichols, Blundell, BJ Watling. They'll all bat around them. I think this is going to be Watling's last series. Then he's going to retire. So he's had a good series. He's had a good career, and credit to him. And Tom Latham, I think he's another batsman to watch out for. He's batted really well in patches for New Zealand. He stepped up when needed, and if he can get that consistency going, it'll really help them. Colin de Grandhomme, brilliant all-rounder. I think actually in these conditions he'll be very suited, because he's you would call him a dibbly-dobbly kind of medium pace bowler, but in these conditions, if he can get the ball to nip, it'll be difficult for the batsman, and he's a handy bat as well. So it looks like a really good New Zealand team. I think, they will be up for this. Trent Bolt will be missing the first game, but he'll be back for the second game. And that bowling lineup, Jamieson, Trent Bolt, Tim Southee, you have Neil Wagner as well. I think it's just fantastic. And you have the likes of Matt Henry waiting in the wings as well. So I think they have a fantastic bowling lineup. Jamieson, how is he going to play in these conditions? He was brilliant in New Zealand. There's a lot of talks about how he's going to do in the IPL. I think he did pretty well for RCB. He's won them a few games, and he bowled pretty well. And I think now these conditions again, with the red ball, I think it'll suit him. And the way New Zealand actually their bowling attack looks like, they have different kind of bowlers. You'll have Southee and Bolt trying to swing it with the new ball, pitch it up. Wagner will bowl it short. Jamieson can do both, so he's that kind of bowler. Depending on the conditions, he can adjust. So I think it's going to be great. It'll be a big challenge for England. England are missing Stokes, they're missing Butler, Bairstow. These are big batsmen. Joe Root will have to step up. It's going to be the battle between Root versus Williamson, two captains, two world-class batsmen. How does Root go about it? Joe Burns, had a poor India's tour. I think a lot of English batsmen had a poor India tour, but Joe Burns, Sibley will be back at top. Sibley, in phases, he looked good overseas in the subcontinent. Now he's back in familiar conditions. Crawley as well. I think he'll like these conditions, especially in England. So they will have to step up, because there's not as much experience in this lineup with the star players missing. I think Zach Crawley will be key along with Joe Root. Zach Crawley against Pakistan last summer, I saw him play some really good innings. He scored that double hundred, I think, and once he gets in, I think he can make the most of it. So a lot will lie on him. Rory Burns and Sibley need to get them off to good starts. And the bowling, it's Anderson and Broad. I think, there's a lot of talk that, one will play, one will rest, but I think they've got a good break in the last few months, and I think they both play. They both play this game. I think they'll play both games unless something goes wrong or someone gets injured. I feel that Anderson Broad will both play. It's just remarkable. Anderson is probably one of the greatest Test match bowlers of all time. He's 38, nearing 39, and he's still bowling fast, steaming in, getting the ball to nip, getting the ball to swing in, swing out. He's getting the edges. He's getting the bowls, clean bowls, getting the LBWs. Just outstanding to see. And Stuart Broad as well, remarkable career. And it just goes to show the determination. They just want to play for England. They want to play Test match cricket, and you can play as long as you want, as long as you have that fitness and that mental strength. I think mental strength is very important here. There's some young options as well. Craig Overton, Ollie Pope, Ollie Robinson. These guys are options. Not Ollie Pope, sorry. Ollie Pope will be batting. Ollie Stone is an option as well. Mark Wood. Mark Wood has been fantastic. Probably last year that I've seen him, he's bowled his heart out. Even in the subcontinent, when needed, he comes in. And I think if there is help, assistance, he becomes even more lethal because he is pretty quick. So Mark Wood will be someone to look at as well. So some good bowling options for England. Will Jack Leach play as the lone spinner? It'll be interesting to see. I think they'll probably go with that. And then they'll have those 3-4 seamers, and Ben Stokes will be a big miss, and there's no Chris Wokes, I think, as well. So Wokes and Stokes will be a miss because they provide both with bat and ball. And I don't know, maybe they're just because the IPL finished early, so the fact that these players are resting, maybe they're looking forward to the limited overs and then the India tour as well. I think because there's 5 matches against India, so maybe that's why. I'm kind of surprised that I would expect at least one of Butler, Bairstow, Stokes to play. So I was surprised that all 3 rested. Archer is injured as well, so I expected at least one of those guys to play. So it's surprising, but this is how England are going to go about it in their own conditions. Whatever team they have, they will be challenging. They still have some world-class players, I think it'll be down to root. But you don't underestimate England at home. But I'm going with New Zealand. I think the New Zealand will win this series. They have more of their starting 11, their full strength team playing. Trent Bolt will miss the first test, but I think he'll come back. I don't know about the forecast in these 2 games, but if there's a bit of rain around and everything, there might be a draw here and there. But I'm gonna. Let's say, I'll go New Zealand 1-0. I'll probably the other one a draw, either due to rain cutting some game out, cutting a chunk out, or something like that. I'll go 1-0 to New Zealand. I think it will be challenging. And a very interesting thing is that New Zealand, even though it's similar conditions, in England they've only won 5 or 6 test matches out of 30 or 40. So it's not like they've done really well over here. And it will be a challenge for them, for sure, for their batsmen, because England still do have a lot of quality in that pace attack. So it will be a challenge for them, but I just feel they have that quality as well in their batting, in their bowling, and all around. I just like the look of their team. So I think that wraps it up. It's going to be a nail-biting series. Hopefully some quality cricket that we can look forward to. The English summer has started. It's always good to watch games, especially at Lord's. It'll be very entertaining. And I'll catch you throughout the series and after the match as well. And until then, make sure you comment, like, subscribe to our channel, and let us know who you think is going to win this series and who you think the players to watch out for are. For me, the key batsmen are Root and Williamson, with Taylor and Crawley supporting. And then in the bowling department, I think it'll be Jameson. I think he'll play both test matches. So Jameson, and from England, Jimmy Anderson. I can't go past that. So those are the players to watch out for. Comment with your players to watch out for. And thank you so much. Until next time, take care and have a good one.